News alert! We're gonna Royal Rumble and enjoy the Royal Rumble. There is some good, mostly bad. Let's explain that. I was gonna upload. I'll tell you why WWE 2K franchise back into the right direction. We're gonna start off with the Royal Rumble. Hello, to it. Royal Rumble. Now, as you know, me, very notorious. The Royal Rumble is my favorite show. Favorite show in WWE history out of the Big Four. The Big Four, right? Here we are. My favorite from the Big Four is Royal Rumble, sometimes SummerSlam, Money in the Bank, and I guess the Big Four that I truly enjoy. Like, legitimately. I enjoy those. So, I'm going to tell you the good about Royal Rumble, and I'm going to tell you the absolute dog shit that were the two Rumble matches. I honestly thought this was going to be the co-main event, or possibly middle of the show, but they started off second. The finish, I did not agree with, and I will explain why I did not agree with that finish in a sec. We love the entrance. Roman comes out, and why? Nope, just nothing, just him. It looked really weird because Roman lost his privileges of having the Usos at ringside due to a DQ finish that Rollins won on SmackDown after bringing Kevin Owens on for a tag match. So I did kind of like that nice little tie-in build there. I'm sorry that my game is not showing, but you guys can still hear me, right? Okay, cool. So that happens, right? And everything is going well, everything's going well smooth. And some of the moves I liked, the reversal by Rollins from the spear into a pedigree. Love that reversal. Always love that reversal. Unfortunately, he couldn't hit the stomp. Actually, no, he hit the stomp once. Roman kicked out. No surprise. Rollins kind of a spear. But I love how insanity Rollins got. As the match got proceeded, it looked like basically it was the Joker, basically. Losing his mind. And Batman losing his absolute shit. Trying to shut up the Joker, but if the Batman were to turn evil. That's how it was like. It was like Rollins laughing at everything Roman would hit at him. And Roman was so conflicted with being able to do anything. Like, he was so conflicted. The confliction between the two was insane. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's insane how much conflict it's been. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of everything. A lot of conflict, and it was pretty nuts. So that psychological mind games that Rollins was playing, bringing back the old Shield stuff, was really a nice touch. So that I will give. But the finish was basically Roman had the guillotine in tight. Rollins grabbed the ropes, but Roman did not let go because he wanted to put Rollins out. Now, while I didn't agree with the finish, I did like the aftermath stuff. So Roman grabs a chair. He wants to just batter Seth Rollins. He does the classic old school Shield that Rollins did to him. It did the chair to the back while Rollins leans off the ropes. and just wallops Seth Rollins with a chair. Absolutely destroys him. Then he gets another chair and wallops him as well. Just keeps walloping. Just absolutely fucking destroying him. So that part I did like as well. Even though I feel bad for Rollins. Rollins got absolutely massacred. But the finish was not quite what I wanted it to be. It was not. I thought it was going to be something more, but it was not. But that's what I would say there. That's okay. Next we had the Next we had the Royal Rumble. But which one? The Women's Royal Rumble. You know, I used to really respect the women's division. Not when the Women's Revolution was going on, but after the Women's Revolution and all the women that came from NXT settled down. Girls like Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, Asuka. The list goes on. I respected a lot of those women. I respected what they were doing. I respected where they were going. And I was respecting that they were going to get their own Royal Rumble. And Asuka won the first Rumble, and I was happy with that. I was like, you know what? It's her time. But she lost WrestleMania. We know what happened after that. Then the second Royal Rumble, a lot better. The only thing I didn't like was the whole Nia Jax and Becky Lynch story. Didn't quite agree with that. But other than that, I think that Royal Rumble was a lot better than the first one. And the third one was not bad. I think it was a little weaker than the other one, in my opinion. Which is the 2019 one. A little weaker, but still good. I think the wrong would have won, though. Charlotte shouldn't have won that. That should have been Shayna Baszler. And then I would also say the favorite one out of all of them is the 2021. The 2021 is my favorite. It was so well done. They had two young rising stars in the final two, Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. Absolutely killed each other for the last 10 minutes. And it was great. Bianca Belair won. She went to go on to win the title. Had a solid run, but unfortunately ended short due to a Becky Lynch squash, unfortunately. But she earned everything. She earned the match at WrestleMania. She earned the Oscar with the ESPY with Sasha. She earned everything that year. But when Becky came back, kind of ruined it. And I'm sorry, Bianca. Unfortunately, Bianca has not recovered since then. I'm sorry, Bianca. So, that happens. Then, on to this Royal Rumble. The one good thing I'll give about this Royal Rumble. Ronda Rousey. And we'll talk about her more later. But she, of course, is the one that won. And it was the right move. I think it was the absolute right move. She comes in, she kicks everyone's ass, wins the Royal Rumble. She won Charlotte Flair. While it's not the match I'm looking forward to, I do think that's the right choice. And she looked like a badass. So, WWE, I'll give you that. But the rest of the Rumble was so boring. All the legends that they announced, first of all, they gave them away, There were supposed to be surprises, gave them away. Next, you had women that were either from the Divas era that did not deserve to be part of the women's division, and you had women that were not really trained back in the day, but they still survived at that point because women's wrestling wasn't really cared about. So, really the only legend that I actually think did the best, but even though we've seen her before, was Lita, Michelle McCool, and Mickie James. Those three get an exception. Those three did amazing. Everyone else, no. Everyone else got annihilated. We had a terrible fucking Nikki Ash spot with the whole superhero thing. I still don't understand that shit, and I'm glad Rhea Ripley just fucking destroyed her on Raw. It's the one thing about Raw that I liked. It was like, you know what? I'm glad, because Nikki Ash is garbage. That's the one time I cheer on Rhea Ripley. But yeah, just nothing memorable. This is probably gonna be the most forgotten Royal Rumble. Like both Rumbles are very forgettable. But the one memorable thing was Ronda coming back. So that's the only thing I will give you. Everything else forgettable, and then some. Absolutely forgettable. Ronda eliminated Charlotte. Was a Royal Rumble. Thank God the match was over. I wanted it to end. It went so long. I wanted that shit to end. So I'm glad Ronda Rousey won. Then we had Doudrop versus Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch did defeat Doudrop. This is a whatever match. It didn't really affect me much. I did like how they were using Doudrop's weight and big ability, her size, to dominate Becky Lynch with the ribs. I think that was a cool thing because Doudrop's she's really big women. Like, she's like kind of a big girl. So I think that was a good choice, just to let Doudrop target the ribs. But then Becky did hit a cool fin, the top rope manhandle slam. That was really cool, and Becky got the win. So that's one match that was inoffensive. Still, I thought it was going to be way worse, but luckily it was short, wasn't too long, and Becky got the win. Next, the most disappointing singles title match of the night. Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar. This had so much potential to be a dream match. And the hype was there. I loved the build. The build was absolutely amazing. Brock and Bobby and Heyman and MVP going at each other's necks was the best. And I was really looking forward to this match. But unfortunately, they did the same thing that I hated about the whole Brock and Goldberg, the first match. They started so slow. And it didn't pick up. It stayed the same pace throughout. All you got was suplex, reversal by Bobby, spear by Bobby, Brock kicks out. Brock gets stunned, still hits a suplex. Like, did Brock change? The match with Roman that he had was 1,000 times better. At least with Roman, they changed it up a bit because they gave Roman a lot of offense to Brock Lesnar. But they barely gave anything to Bobby. And in fact, I think it made Bobby Lashley look weak. And I'll explain why. So Brock and Bobby going at it. And then the ref gets taken out. And by the way, I hate that ref bump. I understand if, like back in the day, Brock hit it, because his F5 had way more rotation than it does now. That makes sense. But, come on. Ref could have just moved out of the way. Dumb spot number one. Number two, Brock's got the match won. He hits the F5. Heyman's going crazy. To criticize Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out and spears Brock Lesnar. I wanted to scream. I didn't do it because I was with a friend who was very judgmental. I wanted to give it a chance. But this match just never took off for me. It was slow. There was a lot of holds. Wasn't a lot of power. Was not feeling it. And the worst part, Bobby won. And I'll explain why that's a bad thing later. So what happens? Roman disappears. The heel turns confirmed. Paul Heyman leaves with Roman with the Universal title. And Bobby Lashley picks up the win in the lamest way possible. I'm sorry, Roman. I love you, but you should just stay your ass back there. You retained. You don't need to mess with Brock Lesnar. You don't need Paul Heyman. But you do it anyway. Fuck WWE for that awful finish. unfucking real. Okay. Next, you had Edge and Beth Phoenix in the mixed tag. Not bad. I think it was another least offensive match in the card. Edge and Beth got the win. No issues there. No issues. Had fun with it. And finally, probably one of the worst and most boring Royal Rumbles I've ever watched. The men's Royal Rumble. Jesus Christ. First of all, where were the surprises? First of all. Why was there no good talent in there? No legends. There was nothing. The only positive thing was Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny in the Rumble surprised me. That took me by surprise a little bit. You got me for a loop there. I'll give you that, WWE. And he did really well. Yes, he got eliminated by some great talent. But man, oh man, dude, Bad Bunny is just so good. And you would think, oh, it's a celebrity. He's trash. No. Bad Bunny can do athletic moves. Bad Bunny can do moonsaults. Bad Bunny can do high-flying moves. Bad Bunny can do hurricanranas. He learned from Priest and wrestling. Bad Bunny knows how to wrestle. So if they ever needed him for a celebrity match, he can do it. That's why him and Miz's rivalry was so successful. Because Bad Bunny knew how to wrestle. And they got Damian Priest over. It works. So, then Shane comes out. Funny enough that Shane got fired right after this. So that's pretty funny. But I do understand why they fired Shane. Shane was going to put himself over. So I understand that's probably the most smart firing they've ever done. That's it. Then the worst entrant comes in. Brock Lesnar comes out, just dominates everyone. Everyone gets taken out. No one can stop him. Nobody can even rock him. He looked like a fucking superhero. And then him and Drew are the final two. Drew doesn't even get a chance to do a Claymore or something. He just gets dumped. And that's it. Brock wins the Rumble. I want to ask you a question, WWE. What was the point of having Brock lose the title if he was going to win the Royal Rumble? You know it could have been for another young star, right? You know you could have made a young star. The people defending this because they want title versus title, no. We don't want title versus title. We don't want that. Because they're not gonna change the brand split unless they have the balls to end the brand split with that title versus title match. Fine, then do it. But if you're not gonna do it, title versus title is useless. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Don't do a title versus title. You're just cluttering champions at that point. Unreal. Unfucking real. Unreal. I can't, bro. I'm lost for words. I'm lost for words. What's the point? It's pointless. Because we're gonna get Brock and Roman anyway. Because of course Brock's gonna pick fucking Roman. And the worst part, Brock's going to the chamber. Yeah, Brock's doing double duty. Not only is he gonna fight Roman, he's going to the chamber. So what's the point? It's the worst, man. What happened to WWE? How do you ruin the Royal Rumble? How? It's the one show of the year that I'm like, okay, they're gonna get this right. No. The only thing you got right was Ronda Rousey. That's it. And Roman Seth. But everything else? No. 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 4 out of 10. How Funny Running 2? 4 out of 10. 4. It's a 4. I'm sorry. I tried to like it. I tried. But I was bored. I was bored. I was annoyed. I was frustrated. I've never been so mad in my life. Because Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view. You ruined that. You ruined what's left of me. And now I'm not gonna look at wrestling the same. I can't even look at other companies the same. Like, I'm going to watch Impact over that shit. Because at least Impact has some New Japan stars that I actually like. That's how you know it's bad. When I gotta watch Impact. And Frost was like, I was like, oh, all the companies are bad. All the companies are suffering. Shut up. You don't know nothing. You're just bad. Admit it. Admit it, it's bad. The only reason you watch WWE is because the fucking Sasha Banks choreography. Exactly. Fucking casual. Anyway. Roman was bad. It's just bad. It was a bad night for me. It was bad. It was really rough. I've never wanted to leave so bad in my life. It's insane. Alright, excuse me guys. I'm going to pause the broadcast because I'm gonna go get my food. I'll be get some food. I'm good now. Sorry, where were we? Oh yeah, so like I said, final rating 4 out of 10. In other news, let's talk about WWE 2K22 as we finally got some in-game gameplay. And man, oh man, I'm sorry, I have to go. I am so sorry, I have to go take a Alright, now I'm good. Sorry, I need a drink and use the bathroom. Now I'm good. Okay. Back to the matter at hand. Released 15 to 10 minutes of gameplay. And I'm not joking, it's not a trailer. Legitimately showed a match between Rey Mysterio and almost like Dominic, Damian Priest. And from what I saw, man, it was good, man. It gave me hope. It was basically an arcade fighting game. A lot of strikes, a lot of heavy shots, a lot of athletic moves. It definitely felt more arcadey, and I like that. It will take me some time to get used to the combos, because there's light strikes, heavy strikes, and medium strikes. So it's going to take some learning to do. But there's a block feature, there's a dodge feature, and the game looks stunning. I believe that was a PS5 version they showed. They did not show a last-gen version, but that looks fantastic. That looks really good. And they're going to be doing these ringside reports as we get closer and closer to launch day, which launch day is March 11th. Early access is March 8th for us. So, but man, the game looks really good. I love how smooth. I love the cameras. I know a lot of people are very optimistic on the button mashing. I think it's okay because I'm used to button mash. I'm used to tapping X a lot. I'm used to that. I'm more interested to see how the block and dodge feature works with a breaker, which is a reversal. So it's a really complex thing, but if you break it down to size, you have your combos, so you can combo up. You have a stun meter, that if you stun them, kind of like in a fighting game, you can use your combos. You can do your fins, your sigs, your combination of moves for a few seconds. And then, of course, the main thing is the block and dodge. So if you can figure out how to use the block and dodge effectively, it'll help you when you're getting destroyed with punches and strikes, because it definitely looks like a strike-oriented arcade fiasco. Which is interesting because the camera in the 1v1s is really different. So it's going to be interesting to see how it looks in a triple threat or a fatal four-way. So that's going to be interesting. My GM also looks really good. They did not show any other new footage. I think possibly the next ringside report, they just go into it and show us how everything works, how the draft works. But the main thing I want to see is like My Rise. I want to see what the story is. I want to see how the custom stuff works. I want to see how the background works. Where basically apparently you could have your own little backgrounds. So you can make a character. Maybe your background is MMA or professional wrestling or like high school wrestling, or you're a basketball, like, you know, that kind of stuff. I want to see how that works, you know? I'm intrigued what options they have there. And also, My Rise is both split. There's a women's and there's a men. Your trainers will be Beth Phoenix and Shawn Michaels, which is actually pretty accurate because Shawn Michaels is actually the finishing coach for NXT, so that's pretty relatable. I don't know about Beth Phoenix. I have to see if she has any relation for the Performance Center, but that's for the women. Hey, that's pretty cool. Those two will be helping you out at NXT, and you'll go on as you go. You'll head to the WWE, and you go from there. For my GM, I also like that you'll start off in a small arena. You won't start off big, but as you do better and better in shows against different competition, your show will grow. More people will show up in the crowd, and you can get more stands with money. That I like. I like that a lot. So that screams old school My GM. So that was for notably. Now on to some pre-order bonus. Today, just today, they showed the NWO pack for the first time. They showed Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Syxx, Eric Bischoff, and the sold-out arena. And for what I saw so far, yeah, I'm glad I got the NWO version. I know a lot of people are very hesitant on getting a 130 game, but I went all in because I have faith in this game to be somewhat good and fun. And the NWO stuff looks fantastic. I love Nash. I love Scott Hall. The Eric Bischoff's pretty good too, even though it was overall I felt like it was a little low, 68, 69. Come on, really? Really? You could have been nicer. But other than that, like, that stuff looks so good. I can't wait to hop in and just play with those guys. I'm actually going to try out Kevin Nash first because I want to see if he has a new jackknife animation. I think he probably will. He might have an updated one. So I'll be sending people to hell. So it should be fun. It's going to be a fun night. I'm going to be doing it with Rob and the boys first, and then I'm going to do it with Smack, Frost, and English in the next day. So very busy. I might also be streaming those. I'm not sure yet. This is a news channel now, but maybe I throw in a little bit of gameplay if you guys are curious. I'll call it Brian's Day Off or something like that if you want, where I take a break and I say, let's just do some gaming, switch it up, you know? So, yeah, we'll do that. We'll possibly do that. So let me know if you guys want that. And finally, on today's news, we're going to update. Now they've updated on the Royal Rumble in WWE 2K22. Well, by the way, I'm going to call this the honorable other great wrestling from other promotions. MJF and CM Punk absolutely had a barn burner of a match in Chicago. The match went 30 to 40 minutes long, and MJF picked up the win in a cheap way, but it keeps CM Punk protected. That match, for me, earns a 5 out of 5. That is your indie win. Okay, back to the matter here. Now, back to the final news. SmackDown tonight was rocky. Now, positives, Ronda Rousey. She sounded like herself finally. She sounded like she wanted to kick some ass. Bad, Oldberg is back. Yes, the dreaded Oldberg has returned. He's going to be fighting Roman Reigns at Elimination Chamber, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not going to obviously watch Elimination Chamber. Might watch some highlights, but I'm not going to watch it. I told you this when me and Manny made a decision. If WWE does not get any better by the Royal Rumble, we're not going to message them as much unless I'm doing gaming wise, which I'm going to be getting the game. Other than that, you will only hear me during this newscast talk about WWE. But it was rough tonight. Other than Ronda, it was rough. It was a rough night for WWE. And you tell me I'm supposed to hype up a Goldberg match in 2022 after what he did? No. At this point, I'd rather see an old legend from the dead fight Roman. Not Goldberg though. Unfucking real. I hope Roman smashes him, bloodies him, everything. Send him to hell. Spear him off the fucking stage. Do what you need to do to put him to hell. I mean that with a burning passion. It's bad out here, bro. So just do it. You don't do it, you actually have no faith. Looked like, after looking at everything and looked at highlights, SmackDown was looking like a low 5 at best. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Yeah. And I believe that is it. I want to give an honorable mention to the very, 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 very intriguing thing that came out today. Tony Khan announcing Isaiah Cassidy will be in the Revolution qualifying match, but he's going to have to fight a brand new signing by Tony Khan. Could it be the man, the myth, the legend, Keith Lee? Is a good question. That is a huge possibility. Either him or Karrion Kross, I think, will be the ones. I'm thinking more on Keith Lee because Karrion Kross just got back on the market. And he actually did a show today, actually. FSW earlier today. And he's going to be doing WrestlePro tomorrow with his wife, Scarlett, coming on to basically doing a match with her bestie, the one that did an inspiration song, Danielle, forgot her name. Can't say her name, but the one that's basically dating the dude on NXT 2.0. Yeah, that girl, her. Anyway, and actually, you know what? We're gonna change that. We're gonna go with some auto racing news. We were very close to the Daytona 500, but this week we're getting something special. The Clash at the Memorial. Now, what is the Clash at the Coliseum, you ask? Well, it is NASCAR doing a 25-driver short track with heat races, musical performances, and going experimental for the next-gen car debut. This car will debut at the Clash. Now, a lot of people are probably not going to go that hard in that race. They will be beating banging, definitely, but it's definitely not going to be a hard push because they don't want to damage these cars. They're only going in with one car to Daytona. A lot of parts shortages already. So, but the Clash is going to be a special event because it's the first NASCAR race in a stadium since Bowman Gray and Sawyer Field back in the day, etc. So it's been a long time since it's been in an actual stadium, and it's pretty incredible because NASCAR is experimenting possible places, either in LA or possible more races out of the state that have stadiums. Imagine if NASCAR went to the UK, went to London, and went to Wembley Stadium and did a track there, or like a mini road course or something. Do you know how cool and interesting that would be? So this is gonna be interesting for the watching that. The main race is on Sunday. Yeah, but the action is gonna be heating up. We're gonna be seeing those cars go. The race is on Sunday. The thing is on um, the actual heat races is tomorrow. So yeah, let me check real quick. NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum. Oh, never mind. It's not Sunday. My bad. It's tomorrow actually. The whole race and heat races is tomorrow. The race will be 6 p.m. on Fox. So look out for that. And after that, I just want to put one more thing up before I go away. I just want to say thank you all for the support lately. Me getting my opinions out, turning this into a news show. I used to just be a normal gamer. And I also want to put one more thing. I do talk about a lot of sports as well. So for the sports, I would give you a prediction here. And this is a prediction I think could happen. Joe Burrow and the young Cincinnati Bengals will win the Super Bowl in a few weeks. Yeah, I think that's going to happen. They just have a young team. They have a great coach who's a veteran. And I think, while inexperienced, I think Joe looks like a person that can handle the pressure. He handled the pressure in Kansas City pretty well. After he threw his interception to the Kansas City, he said calm, cool, collected, and got the Bengals to the Super Bowl. So in pressure moments in that LA Rams fan group, because they are hosting hometown Rams hosting their new stadium, SoFi Stadium. Oh yes, it is a hometown. I think the Bengals would just be more ready to win it. But if the Rams win it, one person I will be happy for is obviously Matt Stafford because he got destroyed on the Lions. But OBJ. OBJ was an afterthought going into this season. He was an afterthought on the Browns. It's like, oh yeah, OBJ's coming back again. But is he going to be any good? On the Browns, not so much. They barely give him any touches. But when he went to the Rams, all changes. Now he's a reliable wide receiver to have. A reliable wide receiver with Matthew Stafford throwing to him little routes, little short routes. Don't even need to go deep. But when OBJ needs to go deep, OBJ goes deep. So, for the first time ever, the Super Bowl is not only going to be competitive because it's two young guys going at it. It's two teams going at it. Can the Chiefs' defense protect well, no, can the pass rush protect Burrow, even though the pass rush was not his friend against the Titans, over the Rams' defensive monster of Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, list goes on, destroyed Burrow. And then on the other side, can the Bengals defense get to Matthew Stafford with that really good pass rush? Can they give Stanford any time? Is another good question. So a lot of good questions going into the Super Bowl. And the big old question, can another team in a back-to-back Super Bowl host the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl? Because Tom Brady and the Buccaneers not only hosted a Super Bowl and got him ring before Tom Brady retired, he won him a Super Bowl. So, you know, so we'll see what happens. But man, oh man, it's going to be hell of a night. And we have a minute at halftime. It's going to be interesting. But that is all. Thank you guys. I will be coming out with a very special Auto Club review of the NASCAR Clash at the Coliseum tomorrow. The race is tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then they're going to do heat races early in the day. They'll film some of those. And then the main race at 8 p.m. California time. So around like, I don't know, like 10, something like that. They'll do the race. It's going to be, I think it said 200 laps on the Clash, 25 cars, and it's going to be a success. I saw a lot of the iRacing people doing it, and it was a huge cluster, a lot of cautions. So hoping that's not the case tomorrow. Hope we have an enjoyable, close action with the new next-gen car, and it's going to be fun. But that is all. Thank you guys for joining me for Brian's Just Lit. I'm your host, Brian. Good night. Good night, everyone.